Rachel Evans wanted to see what it would be like to live as a biblical woman. Now, she is an evangelical individual. However, she realized, look, I'm not following all the rules in the Bible. So she decided to live as a biblical woman for a year just to see what it's like, and then she wrote a book about it. Now, she talks about this in the next video. She talks about all the different things that she gave up in the process of this experiment. Let's take a look.
Taking a page from the book of Numbers, she took her first crack at making challah bread.
Oh, great job, hon.
Following Proverbs, she learned to sew.
This is hard.
And made a few wardrobe changes.
Deuteronomy 22 says that the Lord detests a woman who wears man's clothing. So to be on the safe side, you probably want to stick with flowing skirts like these.
Then there's motherhood. Genesis says, be fruitful and multiply. Rachel doesn't have kids, so she bought this little guy.
The bottle doesn't work. The diaper doesn't work.
From Leviticus, rules for that time of the month.
No touching any men, especially your husband. That means no hugs, no handshakes, no high fives, and obviously no sex. In fact, you may want to remove yourself from the household entirely. For my year of biblical womanhood, I camped out in a tent during my period.
Yeah, all right. Now there's a woman that makes sense. You know, because if there's one thing an all-powerful deity detests, it's women who dress like men. Because he's really into fashion. Watches Bravo all the time and thinks, my God, if a woman's got pants on, nothing makes him more angry. Sometimes genocide, but more times the detesting of the wearing of the pants. Okay, now I love what she did because it points out the absurdity of it. Now, she's not trying to point it out. She's evangelical. She thinks that, hey, look, you know, we take this stuff a little too literally. So she is going in that direction. She's receiving some heat for that. But she's not agnostic like us. She's not trying to make fun of it. She's just saying, hey, you know what? That might be from a different era, right? And she at least lived it for a whole year, which is amazing to me.
Right.
So I like what she did.
Yeah, and she goes even further. Let's watch the next video, and then we'll talk about it a little more.
Finally, some stranger deeds.
There's a verse in Proverbs that says it's better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a contentious woman. I made a swearing jar of sorts. Each time I caught myself in a habit of contention, I had to put a penny in the jar. And each penny represented 1 minute I had to spend on my rooftop doing penance.
What do you think our neighbors are going to think?
Proverbs 31:23 says that a virtuous woman's husband is praised at the city gate. I made a sign, took it out to the entrance of my town, and praised my husband the right way.
That's right. Dan is awesome.
Okay, you know what? This husband's getting a pretty good deal. And at different times, she called him master.
Yeah.
That's apparently also in the Bible.
I don't know. It seems to me like his wife is dressing in incredibly frumpy clothing and he has to eat really horrible challah bread. Like, great.
That she's just figuring out how to make. So.
You got a sign.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And he said the master thing proved to be a little awkward.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right,
He said because a lot of people in town don't know what she's referring to and they thought maybe we're playing some games. You know what I'm saying? Which are non-evangelical games.
Right.
Yeah.
So...
I'm actually surprised that her year-long experiment didn't make her lose her religion, right? Because I feel like if I were to read the entire Bible and I would live as a biblical woman, I would realize just how ridiculous it is, and then I would just let the whole thing go.
Yeah, I wonder if she didn't eat shrimp and crab and stuff. I know I'm obsessed with that verse, but it just shows the absurdity of it. I wonder if her... oh, she doesn't have kids. But if that fake kid had cursed at her, if she would have executed that doll, okay, because that's in the Bible too. And I don't mean to make it too...
Nobody lives like that. No believers live that way.
And that's exactly her point, but that's why Anna's point is an interesting one. So then at the end of it, since you're right about that, why not realize, hey, maybe the whole thing's not exactly true?
Right. I mean, the cherry picking, and it's not just evangelicals. I mean, it's all religions. They cherry pick what they practice and what they don't practice. And I think that that's the part that I don't really understand. Because if you consider yourself a devout evangelical, then wouldn't you follow all of the rules in the Bible?
But you can't. It's impossible.
Exactly.
Like, even she did the lighter ones. She didn't do all the ones that I mentioned. She didn't kill a goat and sprinkle its blood in the corners of the temple.
I would love to see NBC run that.
So, and you're absolutely right that it's, of course, not just evangelicals, not just Christians. My favorite thing in the world is Turks who are very serious about this. So they're trying to follow the Quran, kind of. So now they're supposed to fast during Ramadan, right? And they're not supposed to drink, period, because good Muslims do not drink alcohol. Except they're Turks, they love to drink, right? So they drink throughout the year. Fasting's kind of a pain in the ass. So in the 30 days they're supposed to fast when the sun is up. They don't really fast. Most of them don't.
They just don't drink.
They don't drink in that month. But if they just left it at that and like, hey, I'm doing my best, right? I gave up drinking for a month. What more do you want from me? I'm a Turk, right? It'd be fine. But here's the fun part. They get really mad at you if you don't follow that made-up rule that's not in the Quran.
Okay. Not drinking during Ramadan.
Like if they see you drinking during Ramadan, they're like, have you no respect for Allah?
That is hilarious.
No, but wait, you made that up. That's crazy. But they really believe it. And that goes to exactly her point and your point, Anna, which is that, and actually this has been a point that Ben has made for years on this show, which is they look at it and they go, I want to be a good person. Right? And so let me pick the ones that I like, that are generally like makes me a good person, and let me try to follow those. Right? And sometimes some of the hateful ones slip in, and then you get the anti-gay stuff and yada yada. But generally, that's how most people live.